So I'm going to be doing something a little different on the channel, which is telling a story. I used to tell stories all the time on the channel, but I took all the videos down eventually, because at the time when I did, I was very concerned for my privacy, and I was really worried that the videos would eventually be traced back to me in real life, which I did not want at all. Which I guess begs the question as to why the heck I'm making a story video now after all this time, and I guess that's just the simple answer of I don't care anymore, as much as I used to at least. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do very much care about my privacy, it's just not as much of an anxiety as it was when I took all the videos down. And I'm also telling a story because it's as dry as the Sierra Desert right now and there's really nothing to talk about besides Kanye West saying he loves Nazis and Hitler. So anyway, I was kind of struggling to come up with the first story to tell because this is the first time I've told a story in a while, so I've got to bring something good to the table. And then I remembered this story that I'm going to be telling in a bit, and then I was like, that's it, that's the story I'm gonna tell. So without further ado, here's the story of the time my friend almost got in a fight. So this story takes place either in my sophomore or junior year of high school. It was after school and me and my friends, we were all walking together and chilling and hanging out, just doing what friends do. And as we were walking, there was this guy named Nathan. Well, that's not his name, that's just what we're gonna call him. He was kind of sitting down along where we were walking. It was kind of like on like this ledge thing. I don't really know how to describe it. And one of my other friends, who we'll call David, he somehow gets into an exchange with Nathan, and I don't even remember what happened or who said or did what, but all I remember is that David threw up some sort of hand gesture to Nathan, and then Nathan flipped him off, and then me and my friends just continued walking. I'm sorry that the details for this story are really fuzzy since this was a pretty long time ago, but anyways, back to the story. Whatever hand gesture David threw up, Nathan must have taken a little personally, and looking at the title of this video, you can probably guess what's about to happen. So fast forward to the next day, it's lunchtime, me and my friends, we're all just chilling and hanging out and whatnot, when Nathan starts walking up to us along with one of his friends. I guess he was there to like back him up or support him, or I don't freaking know, but he walks up to us and then he walks up to David and he's like, yo, why'd you flip me off yesterday? And David looks at him all confused and he's like, what, dude, I never flipped you off. And Nathan's like, yes you did, bro, stop denying it. And then he shoves him into a wall that was behind him. It wasn't a hard shove since they were already pretty close to the wall when Nathan pushed him, but it obviously had some force behind it. But then David is like, dude, I never flipped you off, and then he pushes Nathan back, and then from here they start getting into an argument. And as they're going back and forth, a lot of people start to say a lot of things at once. One of my other friends was telling Nathan to frick off the whole time. Nathan's friend that he brought with him for some reason was either cheering Nathan on or talking smack to David, or both. I couldn't exactly make out what he was saying, nor could I hear it because again, a lot of people were saying a lot of things at once. And I was just standing there not even really knowing what to do. Like I just remember standing there all confused being like, is David really about to fight this guy over a potentially big misunderstanding? But then after like 10 to 20 seconds of this going on, Nathan's like, whatever man, frick you. He flips David off and then leaves and his friend follows behind him. And then David walks back up to me and my friends and he's like, what the frick just happened? And then we all just start talking about it, like not even really knowing what to make of it. And then David explains to us that he was really confused the whole time because he never flipped Nathan off, but for some reason Nathan thought he did, and then I guess he just decided to confront him about it. But what really confuses me about this whole thing is that Nathan didn't even seem that mad about it. Like if I remember correctly, he was kind of smiling, which is obviously really weird. It's almost as if he was intentionally looking for a problem with David and just used him supposedly flipping him off as an excuse. I could be completely wrong and Nathan could have genuinely been mad the whole time, but he was just very good at hiding it. But I guess we'll never know because A, this was years ago, and B, I never talked to Nathan, and I sure as heck wasn't about to go up to him after this and be like, hey, were you genuinely mad at David or were you just trying to find a problem? But anyways, back to the story. Fast forward to the next day, me and my friends were all just chilling and hanging out, you know, doing what we've been doing for the past 2 previous days, when Nathan walks up to our friend group, except this time instead of having one person with him, he has like 4 to 5 other people with him, I think even including the guy he brought with him the previous day. And these guys that were with Nathan were like a few inches taller than him, I guess so that way Nathan could appear more physically intimidating. And then Nathan points to David and he says, come with me, and I think he even did the coming motion with his finger like a freaking mob boss. And then they all go inside of a building that was right next to us, and as soon as they got inside, they quickly corner David and surround him. And I'm watching all of this from outside through a window that was right next to where they cornered David, and I just remember thinking, am I really about to watch David get jumped right now? And then Nathan starts talking to David, and I guess they kind of have a bit of a conversation. I don't know about what, since I couldn't hear them because they were behind a wall. And then after like 10 to 20 seconds of this going on, they just turn around and leave and go out one of the exits. And I remember Nathan gave David this really dirty look as he turned around and left. And right after they leave, David walks out of the building, and I walk up to him and I'm like, dude, what happened in there? And David explains that Nathan gave him a very empty threat, being like, never flip me off again. And David was like, okay, yeah, I won't. And then they started talking about something, but I don't even remember what it was. But David actually stood his ground the entire time he was in there. He did say he was a little nervous, but he knew Nathan was all talk and that he wasn't actually going to do something. But yeah, after that, we just kind of talked about it and went on with the rest of our day, and that was the end of Nathan. Until like much later on in the school year when Nathan actually tried to start something with me. So this takes place like a few weeks or a few months after this whole thing happened. I can't even remember when, but I do remember I was sitting in a history class and I got thirsty, so I asked the teacher if I could go get some water from the water fountain. The teacher lets me go and I leave the classroom, and as I'm turning the corner to where the water fountain is, I see Nathan sitting on a bench on his phone. And right after I see Nathan, he looks up at me and we both make eye contact, and immediately I just get this feeling of, oh no, like I just felt like he was gonna try and start something with me, even though I had no problems with him whatsoever. So I walk over to the water fountain, I lean down and I start drinking the water, but then just as I'm finishing, I look over to my left and I see Nathan walking up to me. And as he's walking towards me, I notice that he starts winding his hand back as if he's gonna punch me. And then just as he gets right next to me, he kind of winds his hand back even more and then stops and then walks away. Like, he really walked up to me and acted like he was gonna punch me, but then stopped at the last second and then just left. He didn't even say anything to me the entire time either, like literally not a word, but I remember he gave me this look and sort of devious smile of like, yeah, what you gonna do about it if I punched you right now? But I didn't even say anything or quite frankly even moved. I just kind of looked at him like, dude, what are you doing? And shortly after Nathan left, I just went back to class and went about the rest of my day, not even really thinking about what just happened. I think I told my friends later that day about the whole thing, but that's actually where the story ends. Nathan never bothered us again, he never tried to start anything, and I guess we just kind of went our separate ways. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you guys want more story times, because I do have quite a lot of them, but not too many. I promise you my life's not that interesting. I mostly just spend my days alone in my room sitting behind my computer, which is actually really sad now that I say it out loud. But anyways, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.